interesting. I'm in the industry for 20 years, right? And 20 years ago, you know, the ICT managers of the CIOs were people with a technical background. And that was changing because then obviously the boards, they asked the question, what is the value of technology? If we, you know, invest in technology, how you can quantify what is the value out of the technology? And that, you know, profession was coming more and more, you know, business-like. So what we came together with Intel and other, you know, partners, and we are really glad about this, you know, partnership, the model how to measure the value of the ICT and how to measure the ICT as a competitive advantage. Because the first question I'm getting from the CEOs or the prime ministers of the country, show me the value. Where is the value, right? How much we save basically, what is the impact on productivity, and how we do things in more innovative way, right?
Oh, absolutely, and I think we've recognized actually collectively in the industry there's a gap. The technology companies like Intel and Microsoft and some of our other partners are just blazing away. We're introducing technology at an ever faster rate, but the management practices we use to actually turn that technology as a professional community into value are actually lagging. They're several generations behind. So since about 3 years ago, we have been researching, we've been using the principles of open innovation. We now have a consortium of 50 of the world's leading organizations, not just private sector, we have some very strong public sector organizations. And we've been pooling our knowledge to develop new tools, and we have an integrated process. We have 3 strands: research, education, and then tools and diffusion. For the last 3 years, we have collectively invested about 60,000 man-hours of research, and we now have version 1 of the IT capability maturity framework available, and we now move into the deployment phase. We've been building up an education offering. We offer a number of professional diplomas. Today we'll announce a new master's in managing IT for business value. And we fully digitized all the content, and to date more than 100 companies have taken assessments, but our plan is to of course scale that. And the core audience for the offerings from the Innovation Value Institute are actually 2 CIOs. There's the Chief Information Officer and the Chief Innovation Officer. IT already has been very important, but will be more important moving forward. And as Jan exactly said, we've had this problem collectively in terms of, you know, how do we measure the value and how do we deliver more value from IT? So that really is the core mission.
And also as the industry is more maturing, we are getting as other industries, because, you know, 30 years ago it was a very sexy industry. It is still sexy industry, but it's, you know, maturing, and they are looking for the outcomes, how we measure, you know, performance and impact, right? And if I compare it, I mean, when I was educated, I'm the software engineer by profession, it was all about the technology. Today, I think, and what Martin was talking about, we need to move much closer to the business. And the best CIOs, they are very close to the board. Some of them are even, you know, members of the boards of the big companies. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think more and more, you know, thinking about the CIO and senior executives and even IT professionals have to be bilingual. They have to speak the IT language, but they have to speak the business language. So the professionals that will really succeed are those that have technical acumen, but also strong business acumen, and can, you know, use emerging technologies to seize new opportunities or use emerging technologies to solve business problems.
No, I think in a big way. And, you know, if you take cloud computing, what is the cloud? Cloud is delivery of the ICT capabilities like software, infrastructure, application, and etc. through the internet, and you pay for the usage. So in fact, you are moving from the CapEx model to the OpEx, if you just talk about the finance part of the thing, right? Now, you mentioned one very good point, that if you want to be successful today, it doesn't matter whether you are ICT company or the customer, you need to be attractive for the talent. And today, unless you will integrate things like Facebook, Twitter, all other stuff to your enterprise environment, you will not be successful, because that's what the young employees, you know, will require. We call it consumerization of the ICT. And you mentioned the other interesting point, because we believe that you know, cloud experience will be delivered through 3 screens: computer, telephone, and the browser. And I think we as a company are very well positioned for that.
I think the cloud is actually going to democratize IT. Actually, I think you hit it. There's actually a very interesting issue is that employees of large companies, they have better IT at home than they have at work, and that certainly does create an issue. But I think what is happening with cloud is a very natural evolution in terms of what happened with electricity generation. So there's actually already quite a few precedents. So I think it's actually a very good trend. It is really going to move the sweet spot of innovation, though, I think even closer sort of to individual entrepreneurs and small companies. They're going to have the ability to actually be able to scale massive infrastructures instantaneously based on demand, avoiding, as Jan mentioned, big capex outlays. So I think the cloud is actually going to enable actually a new wave of entrepreneurship. I think it's going to be very exciting.